Fade in. Thorne house. A crooked Victorian house sits at the end of a dead-end road, half swallowed by fog rolling in from the woods behind it. The paint has peeled into long gray strips, like skin shedding from old bones. A single upstairs window glows faintly orange, though the house appears otherwise dark. A moving truck idles in the gravel driveway. Two figures unload boxes labeled Thorne in thick marker. Narrator Cho. Some houses remember. Some houses wait. And some houses simply never let go. Thorne house, continuous. Abigail Thorne, early 30s, sharp-eyed but visibly exhausted, steps through the front door. She carries a single box marked fragile. Her husband, Daniel, late 30s, kind-faced but perpetually anxious, follows behind with a lamp under one arm. Daniel, well, it's ours. Abigail, it's someone's. Not sure it's ours yet. Abigail sets the box down. Dust rises in the low light. The wallpaper is a faded floral pattern, peeling at the seams. A grandfather clock stands motionless in the corner, its pendulum frozen mid-swing. Daniel the inspector said everything's structurally sound. Just needs some love. Abigail, everything needs love, Daniel. Doesn't mean it deserves it. She runs a hand along the banister. Her fingers come away black with dust, except for one spot, wiped clean, as though someone recently touched it. She frowns, says nothing. Phone house, later. Boxes cover every surface. Abigail unwraps plates from newspaper. Her 10-year-old daughter, Lily, sits at the table, drawing in a notebook. She hums a tune under her breath, slow, minor key, unfamiliar. Abigail, where'd you learn that song, sweetheart? Lily, I didn't learn it. I just remembered it. Abigail pauses, plate in hand. Abigail remembered it from where? Lily shrugs and keeps drawing. Abigail leans over to look at the notebook. The drawing shows a woman standing in a doorway, her face scratched out so hard the paper has torn. Abigail, eat. Who's this? Lily, the lady who was already here. The beat. The refrigerator hums. Somewhere upstairs, a floorboard creaks, though no one is up there. Phone house, master bedroom. Abigail lies awake beside Daniel, who sleeps soundly. Moonlight slices through gauzy curtains. The clock downstairs begins to chime, slow, deliberate, though it had no batteries and no weights when they checked it that morning. She counts silently. 12 chimes. Then a 13th. She sits up. Abigail, Daniel. He doesn't stir. She swings her legs out of bed, feet finding the cold floor. Phone house, continuous. Abigail walks the hallway with a phone flashlight. Family photos that aren't hers line the walls, sepia-toned, warped by age. In one, a woman in a high-collared dress stands stiffly beside a man, her eyes seemingly following the camera at an unnatural angle. Abigail stops. Leans closer. The woman in the photo is not looking at the camera. She is looking past it, directly at whoever is standing in the hallway now. Abigail's breath catches. She backs away and hurries toward Lily's room. Phone house, Lily's room, continuous. The door is ajar. Abigail pushes it open. Lily is asleep, tucked in, peaceful. Abigail exhales in relief. She crosses to close the window, which is open despite the night's chill. As she reaches for the latch, she catches her reflection in the dark glass. For half a second, the reflection does not move when she does. She freezes. Looks again. It's only her own tired face staring back. She shuts the window and leaves quickly, not noticing Lily's eyes are open, watching her go. Phone house, morning. Sunlight now. The house looks almost ordinary. Daniel makes coffee. Abigail sits at the table, dark circles under her eyes. Daniel, you look like you didn't sleep. Abigail, the clock chimed 13 times last night. Daniel, it doesn't even have batteries. Abigail, I know. Daniel sets a mug in front of her, tries a reassuring smile that doesn't quite land. Daniel, new house. New sounds. Give it a week. Lily enters, already dressed, notebook under her arm. Lily, can I go see Grandma's room? Abigail and Daniel exchange a glance. Daniel, sweetheart, Grandma never lived here. We just bought this house. Lily, not my grandma. Hers. She points vaguely upstairs, then walks off to eat cereal, entirely unbothered. Thorne house, attic day. Abigail climbs a narrow ladder into the attic, flashlight in hand. Dust motes swirl in the beam. Old furniture sits shrouded under sheets. She pulls one back to reveal an antique dollhouse, remarkably intact. She crouches, studying it. Each tiny room is furnished in perfect miniature detail, matching the real house room for room, including a small nursery upstairs that does not exist anywhere in their actual home. She finds a trunk nearby. Inside, a stack of letters tied with ribbon, yellowed newspaper clippings, and a photograph of a woman who resembles the one from the hallway portrait. On the back, in spidery handwriting, Marguerite Thorne, 1932. Abigail's stomach tightens. Thorne. Same as their own name, pure coincidence when they bought the house, or so they'd assumed. She unfolds a newspaper clipping. The headline reads, "Local woman vanishes from home. Child found alone, unharmed, house untouched." Abigail reads further, lips moving silently. Below, in pencil, someone has scrawled a single line across the article. She never left. A cold draft moves through the attic, though every window is shut. The flashlight flickers. Thorne house, stairwell, continuous. Abigail descends quickly, clutching the trunk's contents. As she reaches the landing, she hears Lily's voice from below, speaking softly, as if in conversation. She peers over the railing. Lily stands alone in the foyer, talking to empty air. "Lily, I know. I won't tell them yet." "Abigail, Lily? Who are you talking to?" Lily turns, expression calm, almost too calm. "Lily, nobody, Mommy. I was just talking to myself." Abigail studies her daughter for a long beat. Lily smiles, a smile that doesn't quite reach her eyes. Thorne house, living room evening. Daniel returns home from work, sets down his bag. Abigail spreads the old letters and clippings across the coffee table. "Daniel, what is all this?" "Abigail, I found it in the attic. A woman named Marguerite Thorne used to live here. She disappeared in 1932. Her daughter was found alone in the house. No signs of struggle. No body ever recovered." "Daniel, okay, that's unsettling, but it was almost a century ago." "Abigail, Daniel, our last name is Thorne. Daniel, it's a common enough name." "Abigail, is it?" "Because the realtor never mentioned it. And Lily's been drawing pictures of a woman who was, quote, already here. And talking to someone who isn't there." Daniel sits quiet, absorbing this. Outside, wind picks up, rattling the windows. Daniel, kids have imaginary friends. It's normal. Abigail, not like this. Something about this house is waking up. The lights flicker once, then steady. Neither of them notices the temperature has dropped several degrees. Thorne house, nursery, unused room, night. A locked door at the end of the hallway that Abigail and Daniel had assumed was a closet. Abigail stands before it now, key from the attic trunk in hand. She fits it into the lock. It turns with a heavy click. The door creaks open onto a small room, untouched by time. A crib sits in the corner, draped in cobwebs. Faded blue wallpaper, peeling in long curls. A rocking chair sways gently, though there is no draft strong enough to move it. Abigail steps inside, flashlight sweeping the walls. Scratched into the wallpaper, low near the floor, are words in a child's uneven hand. "She sings to me at night. She says I'm hers now." Abigail's flashlight catches something in the corner, a small, worn doll, its painted face cracked, one eye missing. As she reaches for it, the rocking chair stops abruptly, as if someone had just stood up from it. A whisper threads through the room, too soft to make out words, but unmistakably a voice, and unmistakably close to her ear. Abigail spins around. Nothing there. She backs out of the room fast and shuts the door. Thorne house, continuous. Abigail, breathing hard, leans against the wall. Down the hall, Lily's bedroom door stands open. The humming, that same slow, minor key tune, drifts out. She hurries to Lily's room. Thorne house, Lily's room, continuous. Lily sits up in bed, wide awake, humming, eyes fixed on the closet door, which stands slightly ajar. Abigail rushes to her. "Abigail, Lily. Lily, look at me." Lily's humming stops. She turns her head slowly, unnervingly slow, and looks at her mother. Lily, she wants me to call her mama now. Abigail, who does, sweetheart? Look at me. Who told you that? Lily blinks, and in an instant her eyes clear, confusion flooding in, as if waking from a trance. Lily, mommy? Why are you crying? Abigail touches her own cheek. She hadn't realized tears were falling. Abigail, I'm not, baby. I'm okay. Go back to sleep. She tucks Lily in, hands trembling, and does not sleep at all that night, keeping vigil in the doorway until dawn breaks gray through the curtains. Farmhouse, tea morning. Abigail sits across from Daniel, dark hollows under her eyes, a single burning cup of coffee untouched. Abigail, we need to leave. Even just for a few days. Daniel, Abby, we just moved in. We sank everything into this house. Abigail, I don't care about the money, Daniel. Something is talking to our daughter. Something wants to be called Mama. Daniel rubs his face, torn between rational disbelief and the growing dread he can no longer fully dismiss. Daniel, let me talk to someone. There's a historical society downtown. If this Marguerite woman is real, there'll be records. Maybe we can understand what actually happened before we do anything drastic. Abigail nods reluctantly, unconvinced but out of better options. Historical society. A modest brick building downtown. Daniel walks in, folder of clippings under his arm. Historical society. Archives continuous. An elderly archivist, Pemberley, late 70s, sharp and unblinking, leads Daniel to a shelf of local records. Pemberley Thorne House. Now there's a name we don't say lightly around here. Daniel, you know the history? Pemberley, everyone who's lived here long enough does. Marguerite Thorne lost 3 infants to fever and illness before her 4th child survived. They say grief did something to her mind. Neighbors reported hearing her singing to empty rooms, long after the babies had passed. Then one night, she vanished entirely. The surviving daughter was found sitting calmly in the nursery, humming the same tune, insisting her mother had gone into the walls. Daniel, gone into the walls? Pemberley, every family that's lived there since has left within the year. Except one. They stayed 3 years. Only the father came out. Daniel's face pales. Daniel, what happened to the others? Mrs. Pemberley meets his eyes, unblinking, voice flat. Pemberley, the house doesn't let go of mothers, Mr. Thorne. It collects them. A long, heavy silence. Somewhere in the archive, a filing cabinet drawer slides open on its own, several inches, then stops. Mrs. Pemberley doesn't react. Daniel stares, unsettled. Pemberley, it does that. Pay it no mind. Thorne House, living room. Abigail paces, phone in hand, when Daniel returns, ashen-faced. He recounts what he learned. Abigail listens, arms crossed tight around herself. Abigail collects them. What does that even mean? Daniel, I don't know. But I think we need to get Lily out of this house. Today. They move quickly through the house, gathering essentials. As Abigail passes the hallway, she notices the portrait of Marguerite has shifted. The woman's painted eyes now seem to track her more directly than before, her painted mouth curved into the faintest new smile that wasn't there this morning. Thorne House, Lily's room, continuous. Abigail bursts in, ready to grab Lily and go. The room is empty. The bed is neatly made, too neatly as if no one had slept there in days. The closet door stands wide open, darkness pooling inside it, deeper than a closet should allow. Abigail, Lily? No answer. Only, faintly, from somewhere deep within the walls, that same slow lullaby, and beneath it, a second voice humming in perfect, chilling harmony. Thorne House, continuous. Abigail sprints out, screaming for Daniel, who comes running. Daniel, what happened? Abigail, she's gone. She's just gone, Daniel. They search room to room, voices echoing, growing frantic. The house seems to shift subtly around them. A hallway that should dead-end instead extends further than it did that morning. Doors they know they left open are shut. Doors they left shut now stand open onto darkness. Farmhouse, nursery, continuous. Abigail throws open the nursery door. Inside, impossibly, Lily sits cross-legged on the floor in front of the old crib, calmly playing with the cracked, one-eyed doll. The temperature in the room is glacial. Their breath fogs the air. Abigail, Lily. Baby, come here right now. Lily looks up, and for a moment her eyes are not her own. They are pale, clouded, ancient, and utterly without recognition. Then they clear, and she's simply a frightened little girl again. Lily, mommy, she says I have to stay. She says she's so lonely, and I remind her of the ones she lost. Abigail crosses the room and scoops Lily into her arms. As she turns to leave, the rocking chair creaks to life on its own, rocking harder and harder, faster than physically possible, until it topples with a violent crash. The temperature plummets further. The single bare bulb overhead flickers, then bursts, plunging the room into near darkness, lit only by the hallway light beyond the door. In that dim light, a shape coalesces in the corner, the unmistakable silhouette of a woman in a high-collared dress, unnaturally still, her head tilted at a wrong angle, watching. Daniel, Abby, move. They bolt for the door as the shape lunges forward with impossible speed. Daniel slams the door shut behind them just as something heavy strikes it from the inside hard enough to crack the wood. Thornhouse, foot, continuous. The family reaches the front door, Lily clutched tight in Abigail's arms. Daniel yanks the door open, but beyond it is not the porch and driveway. It is the nursery again, the crib, the broken rocking chair, as though the house has folded in on itself. Daniel, that's not possible. Abigail, the house isn't going to let us leave the normal way. Lily, quiet until now, speaks in a small, strange voice, not entirely her own. Lily, you have to give her something first. That's how the others left. Almost all of them. Abigail, Lily, what others? Lily, the ones who didn't stay. She let them go once if they gave her something of theirs to keep. Daniel gave her what? Lily's gaze drifts toward Abigail, distant and sorrowful. Lily, something a mother wouldn't want to give. Farmhouse, attic moments later. Abigail climbs to the attic alone, leaving Daniel to guard Lily downstairs by the sealed front door. She digs through the trunk again, more urgently now, searching for anything that might explain a way out. She finds, tucked beneath the letters, a small leather diary belonging to Marguerite herself. She reads by flashlight, hands shaking. Marguerite Toe, reading in a fragile, sorrowful voice, I lost James in the spring, and Constance in the winter, and little Edward before he ever drew a full breath. I begged God to let me keep just one. When he did not answer, I found another way. The house listens if you ask it properly. It only asks for something in return, always. A mother's warmth, given freely, given forever, to keep the house from being so cold. I did not understand what I was agreeing to until it was already done, and by then, I belonged to the walls, and the walls would not release me, and I found I no longer entirely wished to leave, for at least here, I am never without a child again. Abigail closes the diary, horror dawning fully. Marguerite did not simply die. She traded herself, and has been replacing herself with new mothers ever since, generation after generation, luring each home's newest matriarch into the same bargain. A voice, achingly gentle, drifts from directly behind her. Marguerite, thus, you understand now. Abigail turns slowly. Marguerite stands at the top of the attic stairs, translucent, sorrowful, dressed exactly as in the photograph, her expression more grief-stricken than menacing. Marguerite tinked, I do not wish to hurt her. I only wish to hold something again. It has been so very long since I held anything at all. Abigail, she's my daughter. Not yours. Never yours. Marguerite and I was someone's mother too, once, before this house took even that from me twice over. I am only asking for what was taken from me. Abigail, by taking it from someone else? That's not grief anymore. That's a hunger. Marguerite's sorrowful expression flickers, just for an instant, into something far colder, far hungrier, teeth bared behind translucent lips before smoothing back into sadness. Marguerite, then give me something else. Give me you, and I will let the child go, unharmed, forever. That is the oldest bargain this house knows. A mother, freely given, in place of a mother taken. Abigail's breath shakes. Downstairs, faintly, she can hear Lily crying out for her. Thornhouse, foot, continuous. Daniel holds Lily close, both staring at the front door, which still opens only onto the nursery, no matter how many times he tries it. The house groans around them like something breathing. Daniel, it's going to be okay. Mommy's going to fix this. Lily, she's talking to her right now. Upstairs. Daniel, who is, sweetheart? Lily, the lady. She's asking Mommy to trade. Daniel's blood runs cold. Daniel, trade what? Lily looks up at him, tears in her eyes, suddenly entirely herself again, entirely frightened. Lily herself. Thornehouse, continuous. Abigail stands before Marguerite's ghostly form, torn, terrified, but resolute. Abigail, if I agree, you let them both leave, and you never touch this family again. Not Lily, not her children, not anyone who ever shares her blood. Forever. Those are my terms. Marguerite, the house does not forget its bargains. Nor do I. Abigail, then swear it. Marguerite extends a pale, translucent hand. Marguerite, swear it with me, mother to mother, and it shall be so. Abigail hesitates one final, agonizing moment, then reaches out and grips the spectral hand. Cold floods through her, a shock of ice up her arm, into her chest, stealing her breath entirely. Just as her knees begin to buckle, a small voice cries out from the attic stairs behind her. Lily's. Mommy. Lily has broken free from Daniel and climbed up, unnoticed, standing now at the top of the stairs, sobbing, refusing to let the trade complete. Lily, I won't stay here even if you keep her. I'll never sing your song. I'll never call you anything at all. Marguerite's grip falters, her form flickering violently, rage and grief warring across her translucent features. Marguerite, you would leave me alone again? After everything? Lily, you were never alone. You had 100 years of stolen mothers and you're still alone, because you keep taking instead of asking. A long, terrible silence. The house itself seems to shudder, walls groaning, dust raining from the rafters. Marguerite's grip on Abigail loosens. The ghostly woman turns to look at Lily, something almost like recognition, like memory of her own lost daughter, passing across her ruined face. Marguerite, barely a whisper. Constance? For a moment, grief overtakes hunger entirely. Marguerite releases Abigail's hand completely. Abigail collapses, gasping, alive, whole. Marguerite, go now, before I change my mind again. I am not always strong enough to be kind. Daniel? Abby. Daniel appears at the attic stairs, pulling Lily back, reaching for Abigail. Abigail scrambles up and stumbles toward them, not daring to look back. Thornehouse, continuous. The three of them reach the front door together. Daniel throws it open, and this time, mercifully, it opens onto the porch. The family collapses against the car, the ordinary gray light of an overcast afternoon. Abigail stumbles outside and do not stop running until they reach the car. Daniel wraps his arms around them both. Behind them, the house stands silent, unremarkable, as though nothing at all had happened within its walls. The single upstairs window, however, still glows faintly orange, and for just a moment, a pale face appears in the glass, watching them go, not with malice now, but with a terrible, endless loneliness. Then the light in the window goes dark. Narrator, they never went back for their things. Some houses, once you leave them, are better left forgotten entirely. This is highway night. The car drives away from the house, taillights shrinking into the dark. Inside, Lily has fallen asleep against Abigail's shoulder in the back seat. Daniel drives in silence, knuckles white on the wheel. Abigail stares out the window at the passing dark, exhausted beyond words. Softly, almost involuntarily, she begins to hum, and catches herself immediately horrified. It was Marguerite's lullaby. She presses a hand to her mouth, eyes wide, and says nothing more for the rest of the drive. New apartment. 6 months later. A small, sunlit nursery, freshly painted, entirely ordinary. Abigail, visibly pregnant now, stands at a crib, folding tiny blankets. She hums a cheerful modern tune to herself, content. She pauses mid-hum. Something catches in her memory, a flicker of that old, slow melody threading beneath her own, and she stops entirely unsettled. She glances toward the closet door, which stands very slightly ajar, though she is certain she closed it earlier. The beat. She crosses the room and shuts it firmly, testing the latch twice. As she turns away, satisfied, the closet door creaks open again behind her, just an inch, in complete silence. She does not notice. Fade to black. Title card: The Disturbing Events of Abigail Thorne.